You guys, today we are continuing on with Best of 2023 makeup. And I'm talking in this video about bronzer and blush and contour, honorable mention. Here's what's going on. I just finished shooting the video, and just as I finished, it seems that the work on the street had completed. So when I sat down, I was prepping, it's quiet in here, everything's fine, and the minute I start talking, it happens. So I'm going to cut to some B-roll because I did put a couple of things on during this video and I want you to see how that works, but I'm reshooting it hopefully in quiet without the beep 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 going on. So let's start with bronzers. Bronzers, we had Jones Road coming out with 2 different formulas and I have 4 colors. This is the powder and this is a gel liquid. Before I get into it, let's talk about the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk liquid because there were 2 liquids. I did return that. It works beautifully. It's easy to work with. You can do a beauty blender, you can do a brush. It looks beautiful on the skin. It looks like skin. There's no patchiness. I returned it because Armani runs pretty warm or olive, and while it looked good on camera, and I did wear it a couple more times in real life, I just kept on having that feeling, I can pull this off, but I feel uncomfortable. And so I sent that back because it was very, very warm. These shades are not warm, but this formula is very, very different. I'm going to bring in some B-roll showing you without sound, some MOS of me putting this on, even though I already had bronzer on and I already had contour on. I have the medium shade, which, again, bringing in the B-roll, I did end up put a little right here, and it is pretty dark, but when I put on the Claire, you can see how very sheer it is. So I put some on my hand and I blend it out on the hand and pick it up with a beauty blender, and then once I transfer it, it doesn't look as intense as it does on the hand. The color Claire works very well for me. Both of these are on the cooler side, which is my preference because when I get color, it's kind of cool. It's not warm, and I like them both. However, I will say this, if you are in a hurry, you're going to have a hard time with these because it takes a little bit of patience to do it right. First, you have to find the way that you prefer. Is it a brush? Is it a beauty blender? And then you have to put it on your hand. You have to take a little bit of time with this, in my experience, for my preference anyway. But I do like them very much. The powder is kind of the same thing. These are very soft. So the colors are quite nice. This is a little bit pink, and this one's a little bit neutral. And I like both of them. However, I feel that these powders are a little bit soft, and I use my Suq brush. I love using this for blush, of course, but I also love it for bronzer because it's a pinch ferrule and it's kind of squared off right here, so I can use the tip for contour, and then I do bronzer right here. I'm very specific where I want my bronzer to be. If you are somebody who likes the bronzer all over your face, you use a big brush, you're probably going to like these because they'll probably be sheerer. But the way I use it, with a brush that's packed a little more tightly, even though it's a soft hair, I find that it picks up a lot. And I think with Goat, it's really going to pick up a lot. And I've noticed that what happens for me is I got a little too much on. And then I have to spend a lot of time blending. So this is another one that I don't turn to as much because I have to be really careful with it. And I think, honestly, I need to play with it more to figure out the best application so it won't feel like it's difficult to use. I'm going to show you my thumbnail for that video, and you can see, I hope you would agree, that the look I was going for was I've been in the sun. So I use bronzers one of 2 ways. Either the I've been kissed by the sun, I've been out for the weekend, I've been on vacation in some exotic place, and this works beautifully with that. Or I'm wearing a full coverage foundation or a more full coverage foundation, and it's taken all the color out of my face, and I need to add some life back because nobody's skin is just one color everywhere. That's how I use bronzer. I think these shades in particular really give me that sun-kissed look, and I like them both, but I gave you my caveats. I didn't return them, so that should tell you something. Sept. I also have 2 shades in Sept, but I can't find the other shade. This is the shade Claire, and I use it quite a bit. It's not the same kind of, not dusty, but soft powder as the Jones Road. Now, Sept's powders are slurry. It's a Japanese technology of layering the powders, as I understand it, and they're the best. Sept blushes, top-notch, great colors, great formulas, not patchy, easy to use, so it's no surprise to me that their bronzers are brilliant. In fact, my very first bronzer, in quotes, was a blush from Sept. This I use quite a bit, and I love it. I briefly want to mention a couple of favorites, because that's not much in the bronzer world. This Charlotte Tilbury, I haven't used it, but for 1.5 years, maybe 2 years, it was right here on my table. I used it all the time. It's neutral. I use it with a beauty blender. I used it with a brush. You could use it either way. I loved this. I wore it so much. I think it came out in the summer, which is when I bronze more often, and I used it constantly. Love this one very much, if these others don't sound interesting to you. And the other one that I really like, when you touch these powders, it's like nothing special. It's not about the powder, I don't think. It's about the colors. So this is the Victoria Beckham Bronzing Brick. I can use this color, which is quite light, and yet it gives me a slightly tanned look, or it does something for the skin. I use this one alone once in a while. Generally, if I'm using this one, I'm going to contour with it, again, with the tip of this Suki brush. Boop, boop, boop. And you can also mix them together. So for me, beyond the insanely beautiful, heavy, gorgeous packaging is quite versatile, and it's quite neutral. It doesn't run too warm. So those are some things that I've liked in the past. This one continues to stay right up here, probably because it's just smaller, and I have limited space. The Charlotte Tilbury, the Jones Road, 2 different kinds, the Giorgio Armani, which I did return. An honorable mention, this is not a bronzer, this is a stylus for contour from Victoria Beckham. And I did use it this morning, but as you saw, I also went over it with the Jones Road to show you how that medium color, I think, is very nice for contour. This I also used around the lips today. I used it on the nose before, and I think I got one of the best nose contours ever. I do find nose contour incredibly hard to accomplish, so I don't do it very often. Why bring attention to something is the way I see it. Why bring attention? I kind of don't like my nose right down here, but it doesn't make me crazy. It's like, whatever, it's my nose. It's fine. I find when you use it on the face, it can be a little fussy. At first I went on with a beauty blender because I haven't used this in a long time, and it just didn't move. So I had to go on with a brush. This is a Refer 33, and blend it that way. And then dab, dab, dab around the edges if you just want to fade them a little bit. So for this, around the lips, it can be done on the face, but again, becomes fussy if you're in a hurry. It'll make you nuts for nose contour. And if you want to bring contour right up here, beautiful. So that is an honorable mention, but limited for me and how to use it. I think that I have other contours that are easier to use. When I prepared for this video, I simply went to my page, my main page, and I put in bronzer and I put in blush. There is no doubt in my mind that I left some things out because I might have had a new blush, but it was maybe a haul video and there were 3 things and the word blush wasn't put in there. But I feel that I have like 90%. Maybe I have all of the things that I try that are new, but I have a feeling I don't. In blush, let's talk about Valentino. I don't think this is new this year, but I tried it this year. And this blush I adore. It's a beautiful formula, one, but this color has that lavender thing that I'm crazy about. Let me give you a little hint. I'm going to put up a screenshot here with another product that I'll talk about next. If you look good in this blue color, if it just does something for you, then these kinds of shades will do something for you too, because there's a little bit of blue in here. It is just a little je ne sais quoi, a little I don't know what. that I love so, so much. It stays right out here and I use it all the time. But it's not neutral. It's not the kind of thing where you have a gray eye on, you don't know what to put on, so you're going to use this, although it would be good with gray because it's cool. But it's not one of those, I have 3 or 4 colors that I can just use with anything. This is more specific, but I love it. I did break down and get another one in a pink color. I'm not sure where I put it, but I love the formula and I love that color. So that thumbnail I just showed you was from this video, which is one of my favorite looks all year within a video. I felt so pretty. Yes, the shirt color helped, but that Tom Ford quad, loved it. I loved it with this color, the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Blur, and with this. I think Makeup by Mario does beautiful, beautiful blushes. I love the powders, I love the sticks, but I love this more because with a stick you put it on your face or you put it on your hand and pick it up. With this, I just go in with my damp beauty blender, boop, 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 and I am done. I use this all the time. You know, sometimes when you buy things, you think, okay, well, I could use it for that. I could use it for this. This is the kind of thing that I used. I just used it all the time. It's in the color Barely Blushing, so I love this color. I love this formula. I love this product. And I love Makeup by Mario blushes. Now I'm going to go into something else where the color is a little bit similar, and this is the Valentino. So Valentino came out with a product that can be used for lips and cheeks. In my humble experience, I find products that are made for lips and cheeks generally are better on one or the other, but they're not good with both. This is good with both. So they're both kind of a neutral, I don't know what to wear color, which I've been very much into this year. I've been toning down my blush a little bit. I love this as a neutral lip color. I'm wearing something else right now, and I kind of have a little bit of brightness on the lip, and this is going to neutralize everything. So I'm not sure it's going to work, but I love this on the cheek. I do this on the cheek all the time. The doe foot is kind of pointed, so you can be so specific. It's a nude. Nudes are a little hard for me, but I happen to like this color on me for a nude. And you can always take some off, rub it in, and give yourself a more mellow nude lipstick with this. I will post the colors of everything down below, as well as links below. But this for me, wore it all the time, used it a lot, really like it, good on Valentino. Now there were 2 more liquid convertible products, for lack of a better word, and I have to actually read this. Huda Beauty Blush Cream Lip Cheek Stain. I think we could make it smaller. This one I love on the lips. I don't love it on the cheeks. I think the chance that it's going to take off your foundation, pretty high. And it can be a little patchy. I have some right here, and I cleaned off my hands from the first time I shot this, and it does stain. That's great. But I'm not so sure that I like this on the cheeks, but I love it on the lips. There's a vibrancy in this without being bright that I really, really like. Again, shade name will be down below. Around the same time, NARS came out with their Afterglow liquid blushes in several colors, and I think I got 2. And I don't know where mine is, but I do have it. That one I prefer on the cheeks. I do not like it on the lips. This one, if you go boop boop, for instance, with this one, I can just use the doe foot, go like that, pat it out with a beauty blender or my fingers, and there's no weirdness going on. There's no patchiness. With this one, here, I feel that like I rubbed it into my skin, that's how you're going to get a look where it's not patchy. And because I wear foundation, I don't want to rub like that because I'm afraid I'm going to displace my foundation and my sunscreen. So lips for that one. So Dior Backstage has that beautiful pink color that was a huge hit. Everybody loved it. They came out with a bunch of new colors. And I got several. The 2 that I kept are this, Rosewood and Mahogany. Mahogany, obviously not made for my skin tone, but I thought it might be fun to do, like, I guess they're calling it a cold girl look right now, where the makeup's really cold. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I envision. Last year, Chanel came out with a bunch of lipstick colors, and I bought and kept a lot of them. And one of them was this just dark color that didn't have a pink undertone, so it wasn't very. And I thought this blush will probably work well with it. So it's something that I'm not using on a daily basis or a weekly basis. It's a very special occasion. It's more like something to have in my arsenal. And this color is just your kind of neutral pink. There's a little warmth to it, there's a little cool to it. It seems to be pretty darn neutral, so no matter what's going on in your eyes, you can go into this and they are lovely. I also tried the Give blush duo, and I did return it. It felt like nothing special, unlike the Valentino, which had a beautiful color, of course, but it had a beautiful formula as well. I just, I made it work, but it was like, meh, and maybe it was the color, maybe it was the powder, but you do you. You may love it. For me, nah. Another one that I returned was the Givenchy Loose Powder Blush. I thought that color would work for me, but when I got it, I felt this is way, way too bright. But here's the giveaway. I didn't take the time to find another color. I just can't be bothered. If I see it in store, maybe, but I'm not going to do another one online. I also felt that it was fussy. So initially you look at it, you think 4 colors, how incredibly versatile, yay. I can do this color, or I can mix this color and this color, or I can put all colors in the cap and blend them together. But the truth is, it's just fussy. And I'm not into fussy. There are many times, you guys, when I want to sit down and play and spend time putting on my makeup, but just as often I need to go out and run some errands or do something, and I'm not feeling, I want to play with my makeup. I just don't want to look, like I look without makeup. And I want to be kind of fast about it. And you're not going to get that with that blush, not with that color, and not with my skin tone. Again, it might be the perfect color for you, for your skin tone, and for you, put it in the cap, put your brush on it, put it on, and you're good. For me, no. Another one that I use when I just don't know what to do, but it offers a little more punch, is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, I think it's called Cheek Glow. This is in the color 51. There's no name on it, but check my description. If what I'm saying doesn't match what's in the description box, do the description box, and there goes the construction again, but we made it through almost the entire video without that. But for me, if I want something neutral, if I want a little bit of something, I am wearing this on my cheeks today, the Armani. It just is, it's sheer but buildable. It looks like nothing on the skin. It looks natural, and I'm a big fan of that formula. Dior did a reformulation of the Rouge blush. This is one of them. I bought 4. I did 2 videos, and I'll show you up here. And I returned 2 of the colors which I felt were a bit too warm, and I kept Silk Sillage, which online is called Greige. It's a little confusing, and New Look. I really like these, you guys. I think there are people out there who say they don't like the new formula, but it does the job. I don't really notice a huge difference, enough for me to articulate. And there's the leaf blower and the construction at the same time. Luckily, I only have one more to talk about, and this is in an upcoming video. I will review it in that video, but I love this My Dream Palette blush. Love it. But you'll see the review there, because that blower is really close. I think it's at my neighbor's place. And that's going to wrap up today's video, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Wow. So I was just waiting for this blower to stop for my sign-off. It's paused. He's turned it down a little bit. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope this was helpful to you. Do check my description box for the colors, and do check in again. Let me know what your favorite blush was, or your top 2 favorite blushes that came out this year, and why. Is it formula? Is it color? Is it ease? Whatever the case may be, I'd love to hear all about it down below. And until we meet again, be safe and smart, and wishing you good health.